guys, I'm Ree, and this is the Need to Know. I tell you, it's so weird by myself. Okay, today I'm doing my solo episode. It's gonna come a little earlier this season. So I'm gonna do a mix of a bunch of different topics today. I'm gonna talk about open sex. I'm gonna talk about the different types of attachment styles, and then I'm going to talk about effective communication in both and within these two different topics basically. So just for starters, I'm going to let you guys in on something that if you guys haven't been following, that you're gonna know now. So I do practice polygamy, just so you guys know if you guys haven't caught up on that yet. So I do teach and practice what you guys are um information I'm learning, as much as I'm trying to educate you guys so we're all on the same page as well. So to talk about open sex, I'm talking about open sex outside of polygamy first. So basically, one thing that I do want to share about open sex is when you have a casual partner, your casual partner is usually someone that you're probably friends with, this is what you decided to do with this person. You know, it's sometimes it's random. Other than that, it's something that you're doing mutually without something exclusive. So, when you have casual sex, something that I always tell people is that you have to learn how to detach your emotions from this partner, only because some people don't know how to do so, and it might get a little bit toxic. Sometimes toxic is what people like. We don't want toxic relationships, okay? Thank you very much. Personally, I can detach the two. I'm able to detach my emotions and have like a physical relationship with people, which is, some people cannot do that, which is totally fine. But it's good to be able to, if you're going to have a casual relationship with a physical, being physical with someone, to learn how to like control when something comes up more. So say your emotions do come out a little bit more, you would say, oh well, this is when effective communication comes in. You would be like, oh well, this is something I feel. It's either we stop or we don't stop. It depends on you. Can you control it? Can you not control it? Can your partner control it? Can this partner not control it? Do they feel the same way? It depends on that situation.
Can somebody who normally catches feelings fast have casual sex?
um I usually don't agree. I usually say, if you get emotionally attached to someone quickly, you being able to have that physical relationship isn't going to work well. It's not going to end well for you personally, whoever is catching the feelings, because in reality, you're just you're just stringing along someone. Now you're stringing along yourself for something that's not going to grow anymore. Some people, they get with someone, they want to change how that person wants you in the end. Like, oh, you guys agreed, like this is something casual, you guys are not going to develop feelings or whatever. And then in reality, like, so this person that said they agree, this is the one that's catching feelings, and you're like, but this is not, what we agreed on at the beginning. So it's like, oh, they're so optimistic that they're going to change how you feel, and that's not the truth about it. So now you're going in blind thinking that you're going to actually change something, and that's not what's happening. I do remember what I wanted my heated topic to be now. So I was like, in terms of being emotionally available to someone, do people know how to turn it on and off? Like being emotionally available. So I was thinking about that the other day, and I was like, well, right now, me personally, I'm emotionally unavailable. Like, I don't want to be in anything romantic. I don't want to like be in a relationship. I want to work on myself and like be by myself for a while. But it's like I literally like turned it off. Like, I was like, oh wow, like when I meet people, I'm like, I don't really want nothing to do with you in that way. And I'm like being honest. I'm like, okay, well, this is not what I'm looking for. I'm like, romantically, this is not something that's gonna work. I could be like, oh, well, if this is something casual where like there's a physical thing going on, then cool, maybe that could happen. But if you want something more than that, like, that's not gonna be something that's gonna happen. And that's just the truth. Some people don't like that. You be like, but if that's what you're asking me, why don't you accept my answer? Because I'm being honest with you. I'm being truthful in that sense.
Do you feel like it's inevitable that casual sex will eventually lead to someone catching feelings?
Depends on the person. It depends on the person. Like for me personally, like I believe in casual sex. Like I think that's a thing. Like I think that people could have casual sex and be fine. Like I personally think that that's a thing. Some people personally just can't do that. Like it depends on the person. You know, if this is something that, like I said, if I can detach my emotions from something, then cool, we can make this happen. But if I know that I can't have sex with you without there being more than this, it's never gonna work. Like something that I read today in this book that I'm reading now, it was like men usually, like how they mate with you is, oh, I'm gonna undress you with my eyes because I want to see how you look physically. Like that's something that's gonna attract me to you. Like they're looking for attraction always, so they're looking for simplicity. While women on the other hand, they want to get to, they're trying to see if they can trust you, if they can see more than, oh, you're trying to have sex with me. So they're dressing you, basically they're trying to see if you can offer more than what's underneath your clothes, because they have to build with you, they have to build a family, they have to survive with you. Like they need more from you than what you're looking for from her, basically. I was like, wow, that's such a good, that's a, sometimes you be just shocked by the stuff that you read and that you find out like about how people research these stuff, and you be like, wow. But I'm so mad I can't remember what I had to say. I'm just really devastated right now. But I'll remember it in a second. So there's 3 attachment styles. Technically there's 4. The fourth one is the mixture of the 2 of them. So you're either secure, you're anxious, you're avoidant, or you're anxious avoidant. So that's when you're the mix of both of them. It's really when you fall on under both anxious and avoidant. Most people that are secure have a secure attachment system. Like their parents were always like around them, you know, they always was available, and they always were able to get some type of positive or just a reaction out of them, good or bad, you know. It's basically they were available to their children. Like they always gave them the time of day. I know avoidant is when you basically, your parents are definitely not around. They don't give you the time of day. They're not around when you need them. They don't talk to you. They don't spend time with you. They don't do things like that. Anxious is usually when like it gives and takes. Like your parents give and take with the availability that they have for you. Sometimes they brush you off, sometimes they don't. It does depend. And then anxious avoidant is obviously the mix of the 2. So most people fall under anxious or avoidant, and it's only just because of how you grew up. And it's usually when you get older, you want that same thing from someone else as when you get a partner. So you want someone to be available to you, you want someone to give you the time of day, you want somebody to always, you know, be around for you. It's not a good or a bad thing, it's just, that's just what you want from your partner. Mostly secure people don't have a problem with intimacy. They're very secure with themselves in terms of, you know, their own independence and what they want from their partner. If you're anxious, you always want them, you're always so preoccupied with your relationship and who you mate with rather than trying to be preoccupied with yourself. So if you always need to check up on them, you always need to call them, you always need to text them, you always need to figure out how they're doing so that you can feel better about yourself. Avoiding people really do like their independence. So if they want to connect with you, their connection is usually very vague. So they usually want you to check up on you, but they don't want to be too intimate with you, or they don't want to be too close to you because they feel like that's going to go away from their personal independence. So their availability is super low. So they rather be with their friends rather than be with you, which is like the crazy thing. So one thing about the 2 is that anxious and avoidance usually find themselves together in a relationship, and they always clash heads because you always have an anxious person who wants to be up close and personal rather than your avoidant partner who doesn't really want to be around all the time. So like I said, they rather go with their friends. The anxious person probably wants to stay in bed all day and watch TV with you. So some people will say that that's clingy, like that's you being clingy in a relationship. It is, like, I agree, but it depends on where you stand with your partner. Some people just really like intimacy. So it's like they really just want to be close to you, and they want to build with you or bond with you. So I want to remind people what intimacy really does mean. Like intimacy has to do with it's more so of your bond, not so much that you're being sexual with your partner. It could lead to that, which is also another form of intimacy, but they do differ. A lot of people think that intimacy always falls under a physical need, but that's usually has to do with passion. Passion is your physical attraction to someone. I remember now my other heated topic. Okay, so sorry to be so random, but my other heated topic was in terms of physical attraction, do you know the difference between like you being physically attracted to someone and then you're not lust, more so the tension between the two of you. So it's like, I can be attracted to you, but there could be no actual tension. Like there could be no sexual tension. So it's like you don't give me anything. Like physically, like you look good, physically, like you're somebody that I would get with. But when I get with you, there's no like rush. So I was like, do people like know the difference, or do they know that what's what, or do they lean on more than the other? I think that's more of like I think that's an everybody question, because I was just like, wow, that's cool. Because I've had like some really good like sexual tension but like a good sexual tension. Like when I'm around you, like this is it. Like we could get down. And then it's just like we are just so into each other. Like I could see you across the room and we're just getting into it, which is super. I feel like people don't do that. Like I could do that. Like I don't know if you guys do that. But I'm definitely doing that. Like if someone, so that's what I'm saying. So when someone looks good, like, do you do that? Like, do you undress them across the room, or do you really like go up to them and like see how your energy will mix with each other? Like this one person, like we have such like our sexual tension is just natural. Like it's like I could be around you, I know that this is what we want to do, but if it don't happen, it's fine. Like it's just this is just the energy that we give off to each other, like regardless of if it happens or not. Like I think that that's nice. Like I think that some people don't go through that. Like do you go through that with your girlfriend? Like can you like it's just that's the energy, and you like, wow, like I just want your energy regardless of if we have sex or not. Like see, that's nice. Like, I don't hear people say stuff like that. Like, you're just like, wow. I could be around you and we could just be into it. But it don't have to happen. Like, that's fine. I like that. Some people just be like, oh, we gotta have sex. I'm like, damn, like, you don't gotta have sex. Like, see, that's not intimacy then. That's you wanna have this passion between each other. It's like, oh, well, if I don't have this passion, then we don't got nothing. You want to have both. You want to have intimacy, you want to have passion. You want to be able to bond, you want to be able to connect. And it's like if you have one more than the other, it's like there's such an imbalance in that relationship. Man, I like that. Somebody said I like that. Okay, so I'll go into effective communication. That's my last thing. When it comes to effective communication, I have to listen to you, you have to listen to me. If things get a little bit heated, we have to be able to learn how to calm down and, disappear, come back. I want to say disappear because I rather take the space and then come back. Sometimes a lot of people like to fight in the moment. I'm like, you don't have to do that because that's going to escalate the problem. And I'm going to call you names. You're going to call me names. We're going to be wilding, and it don't need to get that deep into, because I'm going to be like, yeah, we done. Don't come to my house. Take all your clothes. We don't need to get that far. Like, I done did that so many times before. I'm like, it don't need to get that far. And it be times where I don't want to get that far. I'd be like, let's talk about this later. Let me relax. Let you relax. Let's go separate ways and come back. You sit on that side of the room. I'll sit on this side of the room. Let me go get a cup of juice, eat some food. I'll be all right, And sometimes you just need that, go smoke, go drink, have a glass, take 3 shots. You be all right after that. But people want to come with the green monster on top of them. Like, you don't gotta be, you don't have to do that. Let's get the green monster in the garbage, okay? We don't need to have the green monster on our shoulders talking about, we don't need that. So basically, you need to learn how to calm yourself down. You need to learn how to calm your partner down. You need to know how to be like, okay, well, I understand you're upset. I understand this is not something that you wanted from me or that you didn't expect to happen. I think that I can change how I did this, or we can do something better, you can talk down the situation. I think talk down is a little crazy to say, but talk down the situation. Be like, okay, don't belittle it. Don't belittle your partner. Just be like, okay, well, X, Y, and Z. Like this is what happened. This is what I didn't want to happen, or I apologize. I take that back. X, Y, and Z. Take responsibility for the things that you've done and what you think you did wrong. Don't say that, oh, you were wrong for X, Y, and Z. That's what's gonna make escalate the problem even more. Just take responsibility for what you think was the problem on your part and say, well, this is how I can fix it next time, or this is what I think I can do next time in X, Y, and Z. If you sit here and put the blame game on someone else, you're just gonna make the situation escalate. The green monster's gonna come out, and you need the green monster. Okay, we're not gonna have the green monster coming out. We don't want the green monster. Okay, figure out also, I want to say, where your simplicity is. So where what makes you calm, what doesn't make you calm, what ticks you off, what you don't like that your partner says. And if they do that, make sure to calm yourself down, walk away. A lot of people don't like when you walk away from them. I do think that is an escalation, but make sure you tell your partner, like, this is something that I think I need to do. If we argue, I'm gonna walk away. I think that's if something like that is said. Because me, I'll be walking away. I don't care what you have to say. Like, I'm walking away. Like, if you give me mad, I'm walking away. Because sometimes people just don't make no sense to me, and I just be like, okay, well, I'm gonna walk away for my own safety, so that I could calm myself down. Because clearly we're not calming each other down. I need to calm myself down. So if I need to calm myself down, I'm gonna walk away. I'm gonna sit by myself. I'm gonna take a deep breath. I'm gonna come back. Don't try to come talk to me, please. Just don't try to come talk to me, because we're gonna be arguing 15 minutes. I don't got time for that. Try to, and I'm a very calm person. So if you get me mad, there's a problem, because I be calm. I be real calm. Listen, my anger be on 35. As soon as you get me mad, it be on 35. We don't need the green monster. I told you that's what we're gonna call it now. The green monster, okay? The green monster is when I'm angry. Don't turn me into the green monster. The green monster is ugly, okay? All right. So usually, in terms of, let's talk about in terms of attachment styles. And so if usually you start yelling because you're anxious, because you're avoidant, so you want to belittle that person. If you are kind of like trying to distance yourself, same thing, you can be avoidant, but you can also be anxious. You're trying to, you're taking the blows. That's how I see it. When you're anxious, you usually just try to get out of it, and you just accept what's being said, opposed to, if you're avoiding, you're trying to be the bigger person. You're not the bigger person, but you're trying to be bigger and badder, so that you can make that person, be, you want to be hurt, you want to hurt them. So I think that, if I'm trying to be bigger and louder than you, I'm trying to make you feel bad. And I shouldn't try to make you feel bad, but something you said made me feel that way. I think also in the argument, people don't realize that, you say all these hurtful things, but why did you say it? Why is that something that's bothering you that we didn't talk about before? So that's, again, where effective communication. And why didn't we sit down and talk about this before? Why, when it was bothering you the first time, we didn't have this conversation? Why did you wait 5 days, a week, 3 months to talk about something that happened 5 months ago? That don't make no sense to me. I don't understand stuff like that. I personally don't, because I'm like, 5 months ago done been happened. Like, we done did all of this stuff in between. And in between that, you can see how things escalate, though. Like, something as little as I dropped the pen on the floor could bother you now. That don't make no sense. That means the green monster was sitting on your shoulder the whole time, and that don't make no sense. Just waiting to pile up all the stuff. So now when we're in an argument, you're gonna say, oh, well, the last time you dropped the pen on the floor and you didn't pick it up. Why didn't you pick up the pen? Why didn't I, why didn't you say, oh, babe, you dropped the pen, I'm gonna pick it up for you, blah, blah, blah. Something as little as that. I could have picked up the pen, yeah, but maybe I didn't see it. Exactly. But then it could be like, oh, as little as I didn't cook the rice. Who said I wanted rice last night? Maybe I wanted just chicken by itself. Okay, so let me talk about this last thing then. So accountability goes into that as well. A lot of people don't know what that is, and how to do it, and when to do it, and where, all the W's, like when, where, how, whatever. How is not a W, but you know what I'm trying to say. If we get into an argument, right? Like I said, I think a little earlier. So just like I said a little earlier, accountability does come into play, because if we have an argument or disagreement, I have to be able to be the bigger person in that situation, and you do as well. But I have to be like, oh, well, this is something that I did wrong, and this is something that I see that's happening. How am I going to fix this? A lot of people are not, I guess, I don't want to say up to par, but I want to say I'm going to say knowledgeable about when to be accountable, what makes them accountable, and how to be accountable in what situation and why. What steps we take to make sure that we're on the same page. So again, in effective communication, what is, I'm not going to say, I don't like to say right and wrong, but what was on my part of the table, what was on your part of the table. How can I sit here and give you, how can I give you the best part of my energy, and how can you take from the best parts of my energy? So accountability is all about what am I giving to you, and what can I not, what can I not handle? I feel so is another thing to address in that. So guys, I think that's it. I'm gonna end there. Just a little bit of updates. This is episode 4 for you guys. This is my solo episode. It came out a little earlier than expected. I don't have any updates for the show. Basically, everything is, like I said, this is our studio. Oh, look, and we have snap. We have our wonderful, for those of you who are watching, we have this wonderful new studio. We have our nice little logo in the back. And shout out to Renaissance Studios, to Christian for giving us this wonderful opportunity to be here. And I just want to also to shout out that we're going to be on Spotify, Apple Music, and of course, SoundCloud. So you guys can also listen. If you don't watch the show now on YouTube, you do have the option to listen to the audio as well. As always, make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter. My Instagram and Twitter is the host. Make sure you follow Shamar's wonderful page at _, we want more. And of course, you make sure you follow the wonderful shows page on Instagram and Twitter, guys. It's TNTK Show. And as always, thank you for watching the show. And that's all you need to know.